Could the AEW Path to All-In Summer Series ticket sales collapse later on this summer during the residency in Arlington, Texas? Well, Dave Meltzer says he thinks that could be the case. The FTW Championship three-way eliminator match is set for next week's episode of AEW Dynamite, heading into Double or Nothing. Speaking of Double or Nothing, Orange Cassidy vs. Trent Beretta is set for the upcoming pay-per-view, and more matches are expected to be announced very soon. Is the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena injured? Well, reportedly, during a recent television taping, she may have suffered an injury. Speaking of injuries, Eddie Kingston, we got more details on his leg injury and when it's expected he could return to AEW. WWE files a new trademark for a possible upcoming new show, and Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker reportedly get married. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the AEW Path to All-In Summer Series and some skepticism when it comes to how many tickets AEW will be able to sell for the several shows in Arlington, Texas. Now, AEW has announced a summer residency for many of its weekly Collision shows, but Dave Meltzer has noted that something like this just doesn't work. Now, AEW has announced a deal with the city of Arlington, Texas, and the eSports Stadium to hold 5 Collision shows and Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view as part of a summer series on the Path to All-In. All-In takes place in Wembley Stadium once again on August 25th, and with 80,000 seats to sell in that stadium once again, Tony Khan's company may have just issues selling over 2,500 seats in Arlington every single week. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer has urged caution over Tony Khan's decision to run the same building week after week after week, and doubts ticket sales will remain strong for the shows, citing history from its main competitor, WWE. He said, quote, "They're going to try to sell tickets, but there's a limit. With the style of wrestling that you do today, and it's not the bookings bad or good or whatever, it's just the nature of wrestling today and wrestling fandom and ticket prices today. You can't go back to the same city week after week after week. It does not work. In Mexico City, it works. We're not in Mexico City, but nowhere else. If WWE ran the same arena, granted 1993 was a really low point for WWE, but they started in the Manhattan Center with Raw, they were going once a month. They were not going every week. The first time they sold out, and the second time they had maybe 800 people, and by whatever number it was, they were out there with 300 people and papering like crazy, and eventually had to move out because you can't run the same place over and over again and draw people. Jacksonville was during the pandemic, but AEW in Jacksonville, when they were running every week there because they had no other choice, but they were opening up ticket sales, they really weren't getting a lot of ticket sales there. They were running too often, essentially. The idea of going to Arlington, Texas every Saturday and one Thursday or Friday for a pay-per-view, you're lucky if you're going to get 1,000 people there by the third week. So what do you make of what Meltzer is saying there? Is he right? Is he accurate? Or will AEW continue to draw throughout the whole Path to All-In Summer Series? How do you think it's going to play out? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, several matches have been announced for AEW Dynamite next week, and one could have a significant impact on the upcoming Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Now, in last night's episode of Collision, there were 3 qualifying matches to determine who would advance to an eliminator match on Dynamite, with the winner getting an FTW title shot against Chris Jericho. Hook defeated Johnny TV to advance first, with the next match featuring Katsuyori Shibata defeating Rocky Romero. In the third match, Brian Keefe beat Boulder to also advance to the 3-way title eliminator match on AEW Dynamite. On Wednesday's May 22nd episode, it will be Hook versus Katsuyori Shibata versus Brian Keefe to determine who will go on to face Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing. Jericho looks to defend the FTW Championship, which he has rebranded the For the World title, as he says it's for the fans now. So that match is set for Dynamite next week. Now, speaking of Double or Nothing, several more matches have also been announced for the show. One featuring Orange Cassidy. A match for Orange Cassidy has seemingly been confirmed for Double or Nothing, as he received a challenge from a former friend. However, Cassidy didn't actually wait for Trent Beretta to elaborate a lot more on his challenge for Double or Nothing because he attacked Trent. In an exclusive backstage segment shared by AEW on social media, Trent was not pleased as he refused an interview after being assaulted by Orange Cassidy. Beretta did state he wanted a straight-up wrestling match with Cassidy, but that's yet to be officially confirmed, but the match is set now for Double or Nothing. Now, announced for this week's upcoming edition of Dynamite, a big tag team match, which will preview 2 pay-per-view matches. Orange Cassidy will team with fan favourite Will Ospreay to take on Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong as their Double or Nothing feuds are combined on Dynamite. Will Ospreay is set to challenge Roderick Strong for the AEW International Championship at the pay-per-view. AEW Double or Nothing will air live from Las Vegas, Nevada on Sunday, May 26, 2024. Now, speaking of more matches are expected to be announced for the pay-per-view this week prior to it going on the air next weekend. The 6th annual Double or Nothing pay-per-view is set to take place next Sunday in Las Vegas, and the card for the show has begun to take shape. The show is being advertised as featuring a triple main event with Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné's TBS Championship, Swerve Strickland vs Christian Cage's AEW World Championship match, and the Elite and Team AEW's Anarchy in the Arena match being listed as the 3 main events. However, it seems as though the card for the show is still not yet finished, with another championship match set to be added. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, there are at least 3 more matches that are expected to be announced for Double or Nothing, including a match for the Trios Championship. Of course, Bullet Club Gold became the Unified Trios Champions back at AEW Dynasty, defeating the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn to unify the Ring of Honor 6-man and AEW Trios Championships. So keep an eye out for that title match set to be added. Now, speaking of Ring of Honor, the Women's World Champion of the promotion reportedly may have suffered an injury. The forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena reportedly sustained an injury during the Ring of Honor portion of the AEW Collision tapings this week. According to PW Insider, Athena suffered an injury during a spot which saw her charge through the middle ropes, landing hard on the outside, and was seen limping when she returned to the ring. Upon her return, Athena landed a forearm smash to her opponent, who kicked out of the first pinfall attempt but stayed down for a second, wrapping up the match. It's noted that Athena appeared to have relayed her injury to the referee in between the pin attempts. Athena was said to have remained in character after the match, but would not put any weight on her left leg and hopped out with assistance from a referee and another staffer. She was reportedly checked out after the match, but there's yet to be any update on the nature or significance of the issue. Athena has been the Ring of Honor Women's Champion for 525 days after first capturing the title from Mercedes Martinez in December of 2022. Back in December last year, she outlined 2024 as the year she would like to take another stab at dominating AEW television once again, further setting her sights on the TBS and AEW Women's World Championships as part of her goal of becoming a Women's Triple Crown champion. She had made somewhat of a stride towards that goal in April, returning to AEW programming to defend her title against Red Velvet at Battle of the Bouts 10. We get any more details on that and the nature of the injury, if there is an injury, we'll let you know in the future. Now, speaking of injuries, a bit more details on Eddie Kingston's leg injury that he suffered during a New Japan match recently. There has been an update on the specifics of Eddie Kingston's injury. Of course, as I mentioned, the AEW star sustained the injury during New Japan's Resurgence event last weekend, as he dropped the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship to Gabe Kidd and was attacked post-match by the Elite. PW Insider has since reported that Kingston suffered a fractured tibia, the larger of the 2 bones which make up the lower leg, confirmed by a series of x-rays in California. The report notes that Kingston sustained the fracture taking a suplex through a table bridged between the ring and the guardrail, his leg slamming over the rail as he went through the table. He is said to be waiting for confirmation on how the injury is going to be treated, and the report concluded to mention that the Mad King is hoping to return to AEW by All In at Wembley Stadium in August. Now, of course, that will depend on whether surgery is required. Kingston was scheduled to fight alongside FTR and Bryan Danielson at Double or Nothing against the Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Jack Perry in Anarchy in the Arena. However, last week's AEW Dynamite saw his place taken by Darby Allin. Darby himself quite banged up at the moment, having only recently been hit by a bus, but threw himself into action immediately to fight off the Elite. The Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing will be the 3rd of its type, brought into the fold as an alternative to the Stadium Stampede during the Blackpool Combat Club's feud with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Last year, the match was used within the feud between the Elite's old lineup, including Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, against the Blackpool Combat Club once again. Now let's talk about a new show for WWE, and this may come from a recent trademark filing. Now, a name for a new show has potentially been revealed, with WWE filing to trademark a new term with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Per the USPTO, WWE filed an application on May 17 to trademark the term WWE Vault. The description of the application indicates that WWE intends to use this term for a show about professional wrestling. Now, the plans for WWE Vault are currently unclear. We don't know if it's going to be televised, if it's going to be just for social media. We don't know if it's a YouTube thing right now. When we get any more details on that in the future, of course, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. And finally, some nice news when it comes to AEW stars Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker. Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker, who are a couple in both AEW storylines and in real life, might be busy preparing for the arrival of their first child, but they've at least found time to do one more important thing since being written off AEW television back in April. According to a report from Pro Wrestling Insider, Soho and Parker got married on Saturday, tying the knot in the state of Ohio. Soho announced her pregnancy in a segment tape for the April 20 edition of AEW Rampage. For obvious reasons, she hasn't wrestled since, with her most recent match coming on the February 7th episode of Rampage, the night she turned babyface on her Outcast partner Saraya, breaking up the group for good. Parker, Matt Menard's tag team partner and former member of the Jericho Appreciation Society, last wrestled on the April 12th episode of Rampage when he took a loss to Saraya's brother, Zach Knight. Soho and Parker have been in an on-screen romance storyline for nearly a year now, which has also involved Saraya, Knight and Harley Cameron. We congratulate them and pass on congratulations for their nuptials. All the best to Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.